Ladies and gentlemen, Covenant Pro Wrestling fans across the world, the announcement that I'm about to make fills me with great pride. A little over a month ago, we began a journey together. We set off on a mission together that others told us wasn't possible. We embarked for a new place. We created a new place in professional wrestling. We established a new covenant, an agreement to do our very best to entertain all of you fans. Sure, the beginning was rough, and even now not all of us were on the same page, but even still, as the embers of a former age have all but faded, we are ushering in a new era. We have created a new banner in the world of professional wrestling, and now the time is upon us to discover who will carry that banner into the next phase of CPW. That is why, starting tonight, Covenant Pro Wrestling begins its Tournament of Champions. And over the next 3 weeks, we will finally crown our first World Heavyweight Champion, our first Women's Heavyweight Champion, and our first Tag Team Champions. This moment isn't just another moment of Covenant Pro Wrestling uproar. No, it's a turning point in our early history that will reverberate for the rest of our future. This event will be called Phoenix Rising, and it will symbolize not only rising from the ashes, but also coming out from behind the shadow of what once was. So now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the tournament brackets for the men's and women's championships. Starting with the men's. Tonight we will see the Truthless Hero Connor Gates go head to head with the Sauce Chris Edwards. I will also be in action tonight against the lunatic known as Butch. And Kieran Malachi will be going head to head with the Wolf of War, William Black. You'll notice that our undefeated and #1 ranked men's competitor, Damon Ryder, he's already advanced to the second round of the tournament. And he will remain there regardless of the outcome with his match against Daniel Horror here tonight. And while we're addressing elephants in the room, allow me to address myself being in the tournament. This comes down to ranking and design. And let me be the first to tell you that there is no desire which I carry more than to carry the banner of Covenant Pro Wrestling. This is everything that I have ever wanted. Everything that I have ever worked for, and win or lose, I will be proud to represent this brand for even just a moment. And trust when I say that taking on Butch is no easy task, but I will do everything in my power to make sure that that lunatic doesn't get anywhere near that beautiful belt. As far as the women's division, tonight we will see Bayou Fire taking on Labette de Bordeaux, Belle Florent. We will also see newcomer and upstart Emma Barkley taking on Bailey Ray. And you'll notice that our #1 and #2 ranked Lauren Osborne and Callie Kaplan have already advanced to the second stage of the tournament. Both of these competitors have proven that they are championship material, and both of them have earned that spot. Now, moving on to the tag team division. That one is up to you boys in the back. There aren't many established tag teams in Covenant Pro, so for some, that might work to an advantage. If you want the belts, call your shot. Make the most of an opportunity, but be prepared come Phoenix Rising to ascend rung by rung above the ring and win that gold in a ladder match. And now that we've got that out of the way, it is time for an uproar! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Covenant Pro Wrestling Uproar. I'm James Randall alongside my broadcast colleague Jack Colby.
Hi, James Randall. Weird announcement we've just seen today. From Will Sheridan coming out and saying the Tournament of Champions. I wasn't expecting that.
Tournament of Champions is upon us. And it's going to be so awesome to see all of these competitors trying to make their mark on Covenant Pro Wrestling. But other people that are going to make their mark here today are these two.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's also going to be very fun seeing you trying to make your mark by talking today, since from what I've heard backstage, you've got a bit of a sore throat from having to do such a long match, long show last week.
Canada, weighing in at 248 pounds, he is the self-proclaimed global icon, Aiden Flynn. You heard correctly, Jack Colby. I am indeed sick, but we get through it because in Covenant Pro Wrestling, nothing is going to keep us down.
So, the global icon, Aiden Flynn, I'm not sure what to think of him. Is he all talk? I don't think he is after what we've seen him perform on the show, but it's still all in question whether he'll be able to perform tonight.
You know, Aiden Flynn is a wonderful competitor. He's got so much skill, so much technique. I think he just got, a little bit unlucky last week taking on Tigre Ultimo, but tonight may be his night.
It could be his night. However, he's not going against an easy competitor, I can tell you that much.
Not at all. Jamie Clark of the Clark Dynasty is not someone to take lightly. And I think Jamie Clark is going to give Aiden Flynn a run for his money. But hopefully, Aiden Flynn can keep up. And now for their opponent. Hailing from London, England, weighing in at 256 pounds, this is Jamie Clark. There he is, Prince Jamie of the Clark Dynasty. Jamie Clark, technically a 5-year-old, but here to fight. What have you got to say about Jamie Clark?
I mean, despite him being our youngest competitor, he still has more experience than some of our other competitors due to whatever the hell's going on with those portals. But I'm not sure if he'll live up to his name tonight, especially the Clark name. It's a lot of pressure for someone who's belonging to that dynasty to live up to the history that it's created. And he's going against Aiden Flynn, who, like I said, I doubt him. But I think Jamie Clark has more of a chance than Aiden here.
Jamie Clark, of course, a hybrid dynasty of the Smiths and the Clarks. He has a lot to live up to. And Aiden Flynn trying to get out of the outset of this match with a chop. But Jamie Clark, the veteran here, even though he's only 5, able to counter many maneuvers just like that big clothesline.
Do you think Lord Chancho's tried to invite him to the Burger King Kids Club?
I don't know, but if that is an opportunity for Jamie Clark, he's bound to make the most of it, because typically when Jamie Clark is inside the ring or outside the ring, he definitely wants to do everything that he can to make his mark on the business and just society in general. And a big Irish whip into the corner there. Jamie Clark looking for something huge, and an Enziguri taking down Aiden Flynn.
Yeah, I think Jamie Clark, he has a lot to prove, but I'm not sure whether he'll be able to prove it. And the thing is, we see his strength here with that powerful hold.
Powerful submission maneuver here. Unable to get Aiden Flynn to tap out, but it did some damage. Aiden Flynn with some chops and an elbow there. Scoop slam, no power slam position, and a DDT.
I wonder if we'll see any spears tonight from Jamie Clark, since he's been shown to use them quite a lot.
He's been shown to use spears. He's been shown to use that 585 lariat. And thinking better of going into that action head on, Jamie Clark able to avert some danger there. And now he's back in control. Snapdragon suplex. Stomping away. But Aiden Flynn is not ready to die yet.
You think there'll ever be a casualty in Covenant Pro Wrestling, especially with how fast the match can go?
Hopefully not, but that gut wrench throw and this frog splash was bad news, but Jamie Clark, the veteran, as we say, able to avert it. Now the action goes to the outside.
And so does your voice, apparently, James. But
listen, the health coverage isn't great at Covenant Pro Wrestling. Just be happy that I'm here.
Just use the ambulance we've got next door.
I may use that ambulance. These two competitors may use that ambulance if they're not careful on that barely padded concrete. But let me tell you something, Jack Colby. We've seen this before, and it is never good. What kind of advice do you have for someone that's fighting in these environments?
My biggest piece of advice would be don't go against Kieran Malachi because he'll break your back. But for these two competitors, it would be stay away from the crowd, because the crowd, if they don't like you, will get a punch in of themselves and you can't punch back.
Definitely be wary of that. They also sometimes bring their own chairs, and they're not for sitting on. Aiden Flynn in the corner inside the ring. I don't know if that was a good idea, giving Jamie Clark the breathing room, and Jamie Clark with a back elbow, a kick combination.
We're seeing a lot of striking during this match. Especially
a lot of striking.
Big blows there from Jamie Clark. I wonder why Flynn was looking both ways there. Does he perhaps know something that we don't? A bit close to our table here.
Well, I think he looks both ways because getting hit by Jamie Clark is like getting hit with a bus. And if he hits that 585 lariat, it's all over.
That it is, James. Again, they're getting very close to our table. I'm beginning to feel a bit nervous.
Don't make me drop my lozenges, guys. Get back in the ring. I don't have time for this today, and a backbreaker.
Yeah, and just for the folks at home, I will be making fun of James Randall today because of his voice. I hope you'll enjoy it along with me.
I'm always the butt of your jokes, but here we go. The action is coming back inside the ring. Aiden Flynn may be looking for that drop-dead tiger driver. We saw that last week, but no, a jawbreaker.
I mean, he was fighting a tiger last week, was he not?
He was, so maybe he only employs that at those times. Jamie Clark, a 585 lariat.
That might be a free. It might be a 1-2-3 for Aiden Flynn.
Definitely a 2. We'll see about a 3. 1, 2, and only a 2 count.
Only a 2 count. I wouldn't really call it only though, James. It's very, very hard to put this competitor out, so I wouldn't subtract from the amount of damage they've... Oh!
The big Russian bottom, and here we go. Jamie Clark looking for that 585 yet again. And he hits it.
Something didn't look right there to me.
Pinfall. 1, 2, 3.
Jamie Clark, youngest competitor technically, however, very, very, very proficient in wrestling.
Very proficient in wrestling. It runs in the blood, in the DNA, and that was a statement win by Jamie Clark.
I have a theory about Jamie Clark, but many people call me a crackpot because of it.
What's your theory?
I think that he's not actually due to the portals. I think he was genetically modified by his parents.
You know, he does seem to have the best attributes of both worlds there. And excuse me, but now we see Damon Ryder taking on Daniel Horror. And let me tell you something about Horror. This is a horrible experience right now. I swear to God, if we don't get health coverage, I'm gonna lose it.
I really, really hope you keep being ill. It's really funny for me. But Damon Ryder, you can see his mask here on the graphics. It's designed to put fear into his opponent.
The following matchup is scheduled for one fall, with a time limit of 20 minutes. Making their way to the ring first, from Yo Mama's house, weighing in at 188 pounds, he is Damon Ryder. He said from my mama's house, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
I've got news for you. My mom's dead.
So, did he come from a cemetery then?
Well, we don't want to know what he's into in that regard, but what he is into in the ring is causing mayhem, causing chaos, and doing damage.
Yeah, doing a lot of damage. I wonder... Okay, I'm not sure here, but is that a mask? Because his eye seems to be part of the mask, and I don't think it's a mask the more I look at it.
I believe it's face paint. He just paints it right into the eye.
I hope he uses at least safe paint, because the eye is very sensitive. Wouldn't want it degrading his performance.
You know, he's 3-0 right now. I don't think anything is going to degrade his performance. But speaking of performers, and now introducing their opponent, making their way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 225 pounds, he is the second City Knight, Daniel Horror.
The second City Knight? Do we know what that means? Or is it just something that sounds cool?
I believe the second city is Chicago, Illinois, and Daniel Horror considers himself to be the watchman, the protector of that city from what I've heard. So the second City Knight...
Sounds like a Batman wrestler.
Sounds like a Batman wrestler?
No, reference.
Oh, Batman reference. Well, he may be a Batman wrestler. We're not quite sure. But if we see a vigilante running around in the backstage area when there's a fight or something going on, we know to look in Daniel Horror's direction.
Wonder if they have a horror cave.
That is a very good question. Where do the horrors live?
And where do they get their hair dye?
I think it's actually natural. You look at the eyes, it's the same color.
Okay, so they're just genetic freaks. Got it.
We see a lot of genetic freaks in Covenant Pro Wrestling. And speaking of one of them, Damon Ryder, we don't know if that is face paint in his eye or if his eye is just obsidian black. Going to work on Daniel Horror, slamming him in the corner on that turnbuckle. But Horror, you know, a veteran in his own right, and a big springboard lariat there, getting a little too close for comfort to Leonard Seymour.
Seymour, I think Seymour's getting a bit slow in his age. He's getting hit more and more in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he got hit last week. Totally blacked out for a few seconds. Leonard Seymour turned into Leonard C. Nunn.
Do you think it affected him or any of his judgment during that night?
Leonard Seymour likes to keep everything on the up and up, just like everything is looking right now for Daniel Horror with those sequenced elbow drops.
Daniel Horror is looking very scary here. Especially against our... Isn't Damon Ryder one of our higher ranked competitors?
Damon Ryder is undefeated. He's 3-0, and this big choke there, Damon Ryder able to get out of it, but it looked like it did some damage.
I mean, thing is with Damon Ryder, we've not actually seen him on the back foot, so we don't know how he reacts to damage.
Slingshot stunner on the rope. Damon Ryder going up to the top rope. We don't know how he reacts to damage, but this could be a damaging maneuver for both competitors. And he missed.
Cocky. Too cocky there. Synchronized ring entrance.
You know, these competitors are just so quick, and a standing Spanish fly is exemplary of that. And another springboard moonsault maneuver. These springboard maneuvers tonight have been absolutely insane.
I wonder if it's due to the fact that we've been replacing the ropes over the last few weeks due to some complaints from certain individuals about rope breaks.
You know, I don't know if we're going to solve the rope break issue that seems to be ingrained in Leonard Seymour's officiating, and a 1 count there by Damon Ryder, and a spiral leg drop for good measure.
I've heard that Leonard Seymour has been threatened over this rope break stuff, and it's made him even more committed to it. Because he's a stubborn guy, Leonard Seymour. I was talking to him before the show, and he was saying that he's not going to change his ruling for a rope break no matter what anyone says.
Absolutely, you know, he considers those letters in the mail, fan mail, so to speak. So nothing is going to stop him.
I've looked at the letters. They are not fan mail. They are letters from some of the stars who have threatened to find his family. I'm not going to name names, but if I was him, I'd be hiding my family right about now.
I can understand that, and Damon Ryder had Daniel Horner in that guillotine choke, but unable to put it away. Spinning back fist telegraph, Spanish fly.
It's starting to become a bit of a staple here of Damon Ryder's Spanish fly.
And I think he went for that wheelbarrow stunner, that, you know, springboard stunner.
Ooh, his shins. His poor shins.
A pinfall, 1. Only a 1.
Yeah, you can't put Damon Ryder out with a kick to the shins.
Neck breaker? No, a big elbow.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The elbows seem to be very, very popular with our superstars here in Covenant Pro Wrestling.
There we go, that wheelbarrow stunner.
Now, we might have to remove Horror using a wheelbarrow after this, because there might just be parts left of him.
Absolutely, a 2 count, and only a 2.
It's starting to become a bit of a horror show for Horror here. He must be in a lot of pain, especially with the amount of Spanish flies he's took.
Must be in a lot of pain. A gut wrench powerbomb here. Horror is looking good. A pinfall. 1, 2, and only a 2.
Is it possible to put down Ryder? That's the question here.
Wait a minute. I think this is that last resort, that inverted sharpshooter maneuver. Will he tap out?
Come on, Ryder, just reach for the rope.
We know the rope breaks count here, apparently, but didn't have the wherewithal to grab the rope. And another springboard moonsault, but way off the mark.
I told you that the face paint was affecting his visibility.
Affecting his vision for sure. Springboard stunner, or a wheelbarrow stunner.
Don't worry about James Randall here. His illness is also mentally affecting him this week. So
yeah,
if he does anything wrong, that's why.
Very clouded here, and a bulldog.
Horror. Horror is also very clouded here.
1, 2,
2, 3. Oh,
wait a...
What?
What?
That was a 3.
I'm not seeing everything clearly here today due to my sickness, but I swear that was a 3.
Yeah, we might...
Up to the top. Went for that wheel kick again and missed.
What is Ryder doing? Like, I don't think he's hit... Like, I think he's hit less of those moves than he's hit them. I mean...
Oh, no, we've seen this before. This is an illegal maneuver. Not the family jewels.
Well, Horror's now the last of his family line.
Well, you know, those horror family jewels, very sacred to the, you know, the horror family. Spinning back fist missed. Daniel Horror able to hit it that time.
Are we subtracting points or anything from illegal moves here in Covenant Pro?
It all is up to Leonard Seymour, and Leonard Seymour, he's grandfathered in at this point. Can't get rid of him.
I mean, I've heard that his son, Lenny Jr., is looking to join Covenant Pro Wrestling after some of the mistakes that his father has made.
And maybe one day that, you know, that head scissors there, Damon Ryder's got the momentum back in his corner. What's he gonna do here? Looking for something big, perhaps? But no, a counter.
Big counter at that.
Snap suplex.
This is a very back and forth match. I'm not sure who's going to win here.
This has been incredible. Of course, he tried to get that Juji Katami on there, but a rope break. Leonard Seymour seeing all. Chops.
A few more threats there sent to Leonard Seymour.
Death Valley driver. What's it gonna take to put him down? Wait a minute, that was the horror effect. That elbow, yes it was. And now we see that inverted sharpshooter again, that last resort.
He might break his legs. Yeah, oh, is that a tap? I'm pretty sure I saw a tap there.
I think that's the arms flailing. It's not over yet, but a pinfall right after the submission. 2. And a 3 count.
A horror show indeed.
And your winner of this contest via pinfall.
Horror show indeed.
The Second City Knight, Daniel.
That's the first person to beat Damon Ryder.
That is a huge deal, a huge statement made by Daniel Horror, and I cannot wait to see where he goes in the future in Covenant Pro Wrestling. Definitely has the makings of a future champion.
I would like to note, though, that Damon Ryder, he did have his place locked in on the tournament, correct?
He does have his place locked in on the tournament. This outcome is not affecting that. So next week, we will see Damon Ryder in action.
I'd feel robbed if I was Daniel Horror right now.
Definitely, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And Will Sheridan, now we're looking at this screen, is going to be taking on the Lunatic, Butch. These two have had a really bitter rivalry, kind of mixed up with the Entertainer and Brad Winters as well. So it's gotten sort of complicated. Will hopes that this will be the very last time he faces Butch.
I'll be honest, I didn't think Butch really cared about Will Sheridan. I thought he was just following orders, but apparently
the following matchup is scheduled
that's
for
what's happening. He's changed his rage, hasn't he?
Of 20 minutes, making their way to the ring first. From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, weighing in at 229 pounds, he is the live wire Iron Will Sheridan. You know, we were talking about Butch changing his, direction, his focus. Maybe this will be the last time that he faces, Will Sheridan in the foreseeable future. But it seems like Butch and the Entertainer have some rivalry going on that isn't going to be quite over. And because Sheridan and Entertainer are so entwined, all bets are off in terms of when these two are going to meet again, really.
Just because I've heard that Entertainer isn't in the arena right now, I'm gonna save my mind. I think he's a sick, twisted bastard, and some of the things that I've seen him do are absolutely despicable. And to be honest, I'm glad that he's not in the arena here tonight.
He's definitely a despicable human being, a horrible human being, but where does Butch fall on the scale of that? Is he just following orders? Is this someone that he likes to be around? Is this typical for him? All we know right now is he's kind of followed in that footstep. Making their way to the ring from Manchester, England, weighing in at 214 pounds, he is the Lunatic, only known as Butch.
Considering that Entertainer burnt down his cabin last week, I wouldn't think that Butch likes Entertainer anymore. And you mentioned Entertainer being a human being. I don't think that's correct. Butch is at least human.
That is very true. I always forget that when I'm looking at the Entertainer, I'm looking at something unworldly, something that cannot be explained by the laws of physics and reality. He is beyond that. And I think Butch is on his way to being beyond that as well, because what we've seen him do, all the things that we've seen him, undertake, have also been pretty despicable. Where does the human end? Does it end beyond the mask, or
are you saying that Butch wants to ascend to godhood?
Possibly. I mean, what other reason would there be to aspire to be anything like Entertainer?
That's a very, very good point.
A big knee there by Will Sheridan.
If Butch had any sense left, it's gone now.
I think it's kind of dangerous. Will Sheridan, you could see his exposed knees there. Doesn't have any knee pads. Kneeing that mask there could be dangerous.
However, on the plus side, no one can...
For whatever reason, Butch has been on the back foot for the last few moments. It just seems like he's checked out.
I'm not sure Butch is all there mentally, to be honest. I mean, less than normal anyway.
But now Butch able to get some offense in on the outside. The barely padded concrete is probably going to do him some favors. Went for a big slam there, but a reverse DDT by Sheridan. That counter just came out of nowhere.
James, is it me or does Butch have some bruises that weren't there before?
I do see some bruising. And a big DDT. That'll cause a bruise as well.
Well, anyway, Butch is just getting his ass kicked, to be honest, by Will Sheridan.
You know, he's getting his ass kicked to some extent, but, you know, he has the momentum right now. He's in the ring, ushering Will Sheridan back in. We do have up until a 20 count here, so there's no danger of Will Sheridan. Oh, my God!
I think I saw his neck angle weirdly there.
His body just went limp before the fall, and afterwards it just didn't help. A big neck breaker, and I think if his neck wasn't broken then, it is now. Moonsault there.
I'm surprised we've not seen any signs of the Entertainer, considering he likes to run out on to the stage when he's not meant to be around.
You know, we haven't seen any physical signs of the Entertainer, but, you know, going based off of that dazed look in Butch's eyes, he's in there somewhere. He's on the back of his mind, and you can tell that Butch isn't focused on this match.
You think it's the lights are on, but nobody's home?
Definitely, and here we see him again, just sort of standing there. Will Sheridan taking advantage. What is Butch thinking right now? What is he going through at this point?
I don't know. Butch just doesn't seem to be all there.
Uh-oh. Buff overflow, and he hits it.
Is Butch okay? We need to get like a medical professional to check on his mind. Like, it's more fractured than normal.
Well, speaking of fracture, he might have a fracture with that will breaker, but a rope break. Will Sheridan smart to get the pinfall here. A 2, only a 2 count.
Yeah, but honestly, I'd expect Butch to put more of a fight.
You know, I don't know what's going on with Butch. A big jawbreaker may get him back in the game, but Will Sheridan catching that foot, I thought it was a counter, but innovative offense.
One thing I will say about Butch is I think sometimes he plays up his insanity.
Yeah, we saw that straight jacket DDT, and now we're going for the black mass here. Will Sheridan could be out.
Will Sheridan might have just lost his face.
2. And only a 2 count. It's going to take a lot more than that to, you know, have Will Sheridan lose his faith.
Not his faith, his face.
Oh, his face. Well, he may have lost his face. A big snap.
I know I have a lisp. James. There's no need to make fun of it.
Listen, I'm having a difficult time talking as well today. I am so sick and so out of it, but we are in this right now with a big daggers in by Will Sheridan on Butch.
I think Sheridan's feeling confident, like he's faced Entertainer before. Now, is this just same shit, different mask?
You know, I think an element of that is true, but you can never count out Butch. We know he's aggressive. We know he has skill. He's technical. And Will Sheridan, I don't think he wants to make a mistake. So I don't think he's, you know, kind of sleeping on him. I just think he's trying to get over with this match as quickly as possible because, as we know, there is a championship on the other side of this in coming weeks.
Plus, Butch. Okay, one thing I'd be thinking right now if I was Will Sheridan, I'd be looking everywhere because everyone, and I mean everyone online, expected Entertainer to make a showing this week, and he just hasn't.
Definitely, and a buffer overflow here. A 1, a 2, and only a 2 count. Butch still somehow in this, even though, like, mentally, it doesn't seem like he's really you know, fully involved in this match, going for that will breaker yet again, but he's too close to the ropes.
Is he? 'Cause Butch, yeah, he is. Butch didn't seem to be there to, like, touch the ropes immediately.
No, not at all. His response times are delayed. I do think he's got Entertainer on the mind. Will Sheridan going for something crazy here.
Ooh.
And a rope break yet again.
Oh, are we sure that Butch isn't just using the ropes to survive here?
Survive for how long and survive for what reason? Those are the questions that we need to ask Butch right now. A standing moonsault.
Nice roll out of the way. I'll say one thing I will say about Butch is despite
straight jacket DDT. Despite being what?
Despite being insane, he's one of the more technical wrestlers we have.
He definitely is. There, you know, he got his training, I think, prior to going insane or becoming the lunatic, so to speak, because he's just too good to not have, you know, had his whole heart in this at one point. And a black mass here again.
Do you think he knew the skills, but now he's using them for evil?
Absolutely a 2. And that should have been a 3. That was over.
I'm disagreeing with you there, James.
An elbow drop, misses. Will Sheridan posturing.
A lot of posturing there.
Going for the buffer overflow yet again.
Is this the third one?
That's the third one. Good things come in 3s, I guess. Or bad things in his case.
Don't steal my lines.
But only a 2 count. Butch, for some reason, able to hold on. But now we see that dazed look in his eye yet again.
What is going on with Butch?
I don't know, but what's going to be going on right now, I think, is a will breaker. And that bone has just got to be so brittle at this point. In the middle of the ring.
Ooh, he's gone.
And it's over. And
Yeah,
your winner of this contest, via submission,
can we get a psychiatrist here?
Iron Will.
Well,
you know, I don't know if the health coverage will swing that. We are independent contractors apparently at this point, but we do need to get some mental health care for Butch here because there is something going on. Well, you're getting more crackers this week, I promise, okay? Jack, you're gonna get so many crackers this week, so many animal crackers that you'll never need to go shopping again.
Will it be the giraffe crackers? I need the giraffes.
Yeah, definitely the giraffes. They know that those are your favorite. And Will Sheridan looking like he might be a favorite for this Tournament of Champions.
Will Sheridan, I'm not sure about him, mainly due to the fact that he's running a show.
You know, I have heard that Will Sheridan is very concerned about the optics of that, and he's looking on Indeed for a general manager. But now what we're looking forward to is Emma Barkley taking on the small but mighty Bailey Ray.
You think the general manager will be paid?
I mean, hopefully he doesn't get some of your animal crackers because we just got you that raise.
Yeah, however, it's the cheaper animal crackers than I'm really happy. Anyway, Bailey Ray.
Bailey Ray, a wild card. You know, I think even though she doesn't have any wins here yet. For one fall with a time limit of 20 minutes, making their way to the ring first from Blackpool, England, weighing in at only 90 pounds. She is the hardcore half pint, Bailey Ray.
I know I've called it a pool cue before, and I know you've told me it's a kendo stick. I'm still calling it a pool cue because I can't imagine it as anything else but a pool cue.
Well, you know, if it is a pool cue, so to speak, I know that Bailey Ray is hoping to pocket that 8 ball here in this match, but her opponent not going to let it happen.
This is California sweetheart, Emma Barkley.
Could you remind me if she keeps that jacket on in the ring? Because it seems to have a lot of spikes on it.
I do not believe she keeps that jacket on in the ring, but what we do know is that she does keep that hat on.
They might need to test the hat for brass if a certain competitor complains again.
You know, I think that certain competitor is going to be complaining a lot for the time being. It seems like that's all they do. But someone who will not complain about being in this position for title contention is Emma Barkley. Only had 1 match in Covenant Pro Wrestling. She's here to make it 2 and hopefully in the future become champion.
I can't comment on her prospects. However, what I can comment on is Bailey Ray has had some good showings, especially against a certain Callie Kaplan in the past.
She has definitely had some good showings, and I think that is the primary reason we're seeing her here tonight. Every time we see her, it's incredible in those double foot stomps from the top rope and an early pinfall here.
Also, I've noticed during the announcing that a lot of our competitors are from England. Are wrestlers cheaper from England?
I think they're just more willing to work for animal crackers, but right now, Emma Barkley's got a big maneuver. She was going for that Tiger Powerbomb and unable to get it. Bailey Ray is just too quick.
I've always wondered in the women's division, does having long hair constitute a disadvantage?
I would say so. More surface area to grab onto, but hitting that surface area perfectly, Emma Barkley has gone in for a little bit more with those brutal kicks.
I'd like to criticize her technique there. If you notice when she kicked there, she used her toes, which is very risky because it can break the toes, as they're very fragile.
That is something that you have to look, out for. And also fragile are the fingers, and we see Bailey Ray working on those. Smart game plan or just sheer viciousness?
Like you said, I think it was the last show, that as long as they can put their thumbs up, Will Sheridan's fine with it.
Exactly, as long as they can hail a taxi and get home, as long as we don't have to employ that ambulance. A big fist drop there. Emma Barkley is sort of on the back foot right now.
Speaking of back foot, is it me or is Bailey Ray not wearing shoes?
I've just noticed that Bailey Ray is not wearing shoes. It's stockings all the way down.
Yeah, that's a very old-fashioned choice.
I guess she moves better with no shoes on. Hopefully, for her, this will pay off. But she is doing a lot of damage with those feet.
I mean, considering how often she uses her feet, I would have thought she'd be one of the competitors who would use shoes.
That's what I was just getting at. Unfortunately, in my sickness, I'm just not on the top of my game today.
I would have said this is top of your game here, James.
Appreciate that, but I do not believe so.
It wasn't a compliment.
Oh, I see where you're going at. Well, speaking of things that were not a compliment, gonging Emma Barkley's head against that ring post there, Bailey Ray is not giving out any social niceties at this point. She is here to compete, and you see her stomping away in the ring, telling her, get in here, we're not done with this, but I want to be.
Do you think Bailey Ray has some insecurities about her height? Considering she's one of the shorter competitors in the ring right now. So I think that might make her feel insecure.
Well, I'm not sure if she feels insecure, but she is the hardcore half pint, and she is getting slammed in the corner. Emma Barkley, I'm going for a pinfall. 2. Only a 2 count.
Do you think that Bailey Ray gave herself the nickname, or do you think it's something that followed her throughout her life?
You know, I think it's just some genius here in Covenant Pro Wrestling giving people random nicknames just because he can.
We have geniuses?
Somebody's got to be a genius to get it looking this good.
Voodoo magic, maybe?
Voodoo magic may be the case. Right now, Emma Barkley looking for some magic of her own. That spinning TKO, that airplane spin.
Quite an odd name for a move.
1, 2.
A spinning TKO, that would imply that it always knocks someone out.
Well, technically it knocks people out, I guess.
Ha ha, very funny. I see what you did there.
Wrenching at that neck with those exposed feet. Bailey Ray showing us something we've never quite seen before.
Do you think she doesn't wash her feet so it causes more damage?
You know, the stink feet may be her #1 weapon here in these matchups.
Bad hygiene can be used as a weapon within wrestling.
It can, and a Kinshasa, there's nothing clean about that other than a victory. 2, and only a 2 count.
Big Kinshasa there. Is it Kinshasa? I can't pronounce that word.
You're doing great, Jack. You're doing great. Wonderful.
What I can say is that a big hit.
Definitely a big lariat. And another.
I wouldn't.
Oh, the double super kick.
I wonder how much it hurts compared to the kick.
2.
I mean, when you're throwing kicks out that regularly, the jolting on your knees must hurt, like the joints.
It does, and I think that's why she has maneuvers like this, the spinning TKO.
Again.
1, 2, 3.
That's it. She hasn't lost yet, has she?
Emma Barkley still undefeated in Covenant Pro Wrestling.
Very
California
impressive.
sweetheart.
Making her way
Emma
to title contention.
Barkley.
And just a beautiful career here in Covenant Pro Wrestling.
I'm very excited to see where she'll go. I'm also very excited to see if we're going to force Bailey Ray to put some shoes on.
I think that might be a requirement. Leonard Seymour needs to get with his regulators and figure out a way to get her some shoes.
We do pay her enough. We do pay her enough for that, right?
I'm hoping that we pay her enough, and hopefully, if we don't, she'll get some donations to get some shoes. Stat.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Donate so that our competitors can actually compete. Please don't donate. Please don't donate.
Don't donate anything but your time watching these episodes. But now is the time for William Black versus Kieran Malachi. Jack, what do you think about this matchup?
I think William Black might be donating to the chiropractor. You spare back discs?
That is yet to be seen. Kieran Malachi, of course, is our chiropractor and can take just about anyone out.
He's also the Anubis assassin.
But William Black is a tried and true competitor as well.
The following matchup is scheduled for one fall with a time limit of 20 minutes. Making their way to the ring first, weighing in at 269 pounds from Biloxi, Mississippi, the Wolf of War, William Black.
The Wolf of War taking on the Anubis Assassin, as you alluded to earlier. Kieran Malachi has that moniker, and he seems to be carrying something else with him, some other facet of his personality. And is that going to be too much for William Black? We have to see here. But William Black calls himself the Jarl of Wrestling, and the Jarl does not bow to another.
What I'd like to say, I'd love to criticize William Black, but he came in with a sword, so he's a very good wrestler is what I'm going to say.
A very good wrestler. His attire is pristine. I love his crown, and I have absolutely nothing at all. Never have I ever had a complaint about William Black ever, and that is my final say.
Really? I've already told him that you didn't like him.
Oh, God. I'm sick, and now this.
Yeah, I've already put you as a sacrificial lamb, James.
Somebody update my emergency contacts.
And now for their
I am your emergency contact.
weighing in at 246 pounds from Edinburgh, Scotland. This is the Anubis assassin, Kieran Malachi.
Well, speaking of emergency contacts, the doctor, so to speak, is in. The chiropractor, Kieran Malachi, here to see if he can just adjust William Black just a little, long enough to get a victory.
Long enough.
I see what you're doing there, but this is a somewhat family show.
Haha, I wasn't making that joke, I was saying that he would make him taller.
Everyone watching this, excuse me, that was foul.
Yes, it was. Be ashamed of yourself.
I am ashamed, and I am also sick. And somebody, please, update my emergency contact.
I am your emergency contact, what are you saying?
Kieran Malachi, going for a big clothesline, it looks like here.
I think the beard pads his face like at all.
I think so. He's got that beard and that hair. It definitely cushions some of those blows. William Black, and now sending Kieran Malachi into the corner.
Oh, he's targeting that shoulder of Kieran Malachi.
Targeting that shoulder, and we saw on our monitors here, he had those middle fingers up. No love lost for Kieran Malachi here.
I mean, I don't trust either of these competitors, to be honest. I trust Black slightly less because of the sword, but Malachi, he's been practicing medicine without a license.
You've got me laughing over here, and I can barely breathe. Kieran Malachi getting those stomps again at a pinfall, but only a 1 count. Practicing medicine or not, Kieran Malachi is in Covenant Pro Wrestling, and I think right now his only focus should be William Black, because this does not look good.
Yeah, just like I take your breath away, it looks like Kieran Malachi's breath is being taken away. Or not, because Black is as inaccurate as... Who was it who kept missing before? Damon Ryder.
Damon Ryder.
Yeah, he's as inaccurate as Damon Ryder.
Well, don't let Damon Ryder hear you say that. I think he'll take that personally.
And I'm also taking your coughing personally. I'm going to complain to HR.
My coughing is a hate crime, just like those stomps of William Black on Kieran Malachi, and yet again, and a big punch as well.
Chiropractor hasn't really shown any of his signature moves today. Do you think that William Black doesn't have the stress within him? He's not all knotted up like some of the other competitors.
He's not all knotted up, but Kieran Malachi is getting knotted up with this illegal maneuver here. I can't even think straight.
Am I going to have to perform CPR? That's not on my contract.
Hopefully not. I think I'll be okay. I apologize to our viewers for the horrible sounds of my throat, but
if you say that, you're gonna have to complain every week, James.
You know, you've just been on me all night tonight, saying the meanest things that I've ever heard. Are we even friends? Is that why you didn't come to my picnic? And a 2 count.
Listen, there's a reason I made myself your emergency contact.
Oh, with that Glasgow spear.
Sending him all the way
1,
back to class.
2. Why did you make yourself my emergency contact? I'm curious to know now.
So no one can hear you scream. Anyway, William Black striking Kieran Malachi quite a lot of his knees there.
He's using those knees, using everything to his advantage. A pinfall. And only a 1 count.
Only a 1 count.
Springboard leg drop on the back of the neck. That'll send you to a chiropractor.
Yes, it will. I'd also like you to forget everything I've said during this match, James.
Unfortunately, we cannot. And that was that KM overdrive, that cutter maneuver, and only a 2 count. I thought it was over.
I find it very curious that a lot of the times that we've seen Kieran Malachi perform at Covenant Pro Wrestling, all of his matches, as far as I'm aware, have gone outside of the ring.
You know, I think he does prefer it outside of the ring, but inside the ring right now.
Yeah, I thought he was going to chuck William Black outside the ring there.
I think he attempted to do that there. Wait a minute.
Yeah, he is. This is not me knowing what's going to happen, folks. This is me just being that good at predicting stuff.
Uh-oh, this could be a backdrop.
Oh, the chiropractor's in the house.
And still working on that lower back. That lumbar region is just not having a good day right now.
Kieran Malachi has 2 modes. He has his in-ring mode where he doesn't really target the back. And then we have the out-of-ring mode, which is the chiropractor Malachi, who will make sure that your back will never, ever be the same again.
You know, I just noticed he's sort of a chiropractor, and his aesthetic is from Egypt. So is he, in fact, the chiropractor?
Please never make that joke again. I'm being serious. I will quit this job.
Oh, don't leave your animal crackers behind. And yet again, an illegal maneuver here on the outside. That hold is banned.
Yeah, that's not Pharaoh. That's really not Pharaoh.
I got what you said. I was trying to ignore it because if you get started and I'm already started, I wouldn't want to Egypt these fans out of anything entertaining.
Oh, come on. People are going to be calling their mummy.
Officially, I'm calling quits on puns. I'm not good at them. Not part of the job, and neither is this. That illegal maneuver once more. Kieran Malachi went from being the chiropractor to being the chiropracted.
I think is it the rotator cuffs you'd call it?
Yeah, the rotator cuffs are definitely being strained by those maneuvers, but Kieran Malachi getting up, showing his ferocity there. And just as he sent him outside of the ring, sending him back in.
You think he regrets going outside the ring?
I would. That Glasgow spear again.
1. Ooh.
Only a 2 count.
So, James, from the rumors I've heard, your illness comes from the Mothman.
You know, I was staring in his eyes too long, and I think I got a little bit of that residual sickness. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Wait a minute.
He's not.
King Killer. 2.
He's not going to be fine.
Not gonna be fine, but he's okay for the moment. The Black Fang. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, that has to be it. 2, 3.
And your winner of this contest, via pinfall, the Wolf of War, the Jarl of Wrestling, William.
Very, very good showing there from William Black.
Very good showing from William Black. Very exhilarating matchup. Definitely had me out of breath, but I'm not sure if that was my sickness or the match. But either way, I enjoyed it.
We got you tested. We've had you tested, right?
Yeah, well, we have to when we come into the arena.
Okay, thank God. Whew. William,
You know, I think is what it was, is a combination of Mothman, you know, staring in his eyes too long, and just all the great matches that we had last week. I think I overdid it just a little bit.
you're not going to blame me bullying you last week.
I mean, I could.
But you dare.
And now we see William Black advancing in the tournament. And next week, we're going to see the Battle of Wills. Will Sheridan taking on William Black. It's going to be awesome.
It will be awesome.
Awesome indeed. But right now, we hear from Ebac.
I don't like cheaters, Ryan. I said it multiple times throughout my career. I despise liars and cheats. Tabo and Sterry tried to throw Chancho and I off last week with the surprise appearance of one Matty Meyer. Oh, how could they have anticipated that? Despite my complaints, no one seems to be taking any action on it here at the CPW, so I have decided to take action into my own hands. I found a guy. He's the absolute best, a security expert supreme. Has his own security company even. What was it, program? Regardless, I'd like to see if those three Vaniacs can step away from their wall-to-wall mirrored private locker rooms and take on myself, Chancho, and my new head of security.
We just heard from Ebac wanting to take on Sterry Tomo and Matty Meyer in a six-man tag team match tonight.
Stealing the term
Making
Vaniac.
their way to the ring from Norwich, England, weighing in at 240 pounds. This is the Hyrulean High Flyer, Ebac.
You know, Jack, tag team matchups are hard enough, and you know, you get winded when you're calling them a six-man tag team matchup. With me being sick here tonight, it's going to be a hell of a show.
I'm literally stealing the term he used during that little hype video of his, the term Vaniacs, to describe the Tamo 3, I'm going to call them.
Definitely. They are appropriate for that term. They're appropriate for a lot of terms, but we'll get started on that later.
All of them family-friendly, folks.
Are you sure about that?
Do you want me to show you some of the terms I'll use for them?
Well, right now we're gonna hear Lord Chancho's music. Wait a minute. This is not Lord Chancho's music.
Apparently we got sued.
What the hell? I'm disappointed, folks.
Introducing their partners. Making
You
their
obviously
way
weren't
to the
listening
ring
last week
from
either.
the Burger
Were you sure you
King
weren't sick
Kids
then?
Club, weighing in at 1,146 Whopper Juniors, Lord Chancho.
1,400 or however many Whopper Juniors. I don't know how Lord Chancho isn't sick, but I am sick tonight because he has changed his theme music, but he's still the same Lord Chancho.
Like I said, we got sued, and I blame you for bringing attention to the song.
Well, we're not supposed to talk specifically about the lawsuit, but Lord Chancho feels very suited in the ring, and we're going to see him here in just a moment. But who's his partner going to be?
No. The more important question here is: does he game? Does their partner game?
Does he game? This new head of security
we're going to be seeing in just a moment.
Does he play 5 Nights at Freddy's? Because that would be very appropriate.
That could be a game that he plays, but right now, we're going to find out exactly who they are.
Who is this?
Wait a minute. That's Dower Ranger.
Way to the ring
No, that's
from
not
a
Dower Ranger,
secure
is it?
location. They are evac, head of security.
Dower Ranger?
I mean, I could be wrong, but that just looks like Dower Ranger in a t-shirt.
Not even our very, very trustworthy source up in the not the commentary, the announcing booth doesn't know.
You know, he's got a security shirt on, but that just looks like Dower Ranger, a little slimmed up.
You know, Jerry from security hasn't been answering my calls tonight.
I mean, maybe Dower took his job, but right now he's got a job to do in the ring with these guys, unfortunately.
Can I just say how much I hate them again?
Please just tell us all.
I will shortly after the announcing.
And now, introducing their opponents. First, weighing less than all of you fat fucks in the crowd, they are the sex appeal of the Southwest. Jacob, Steri, and Retro, Ali, Tomo.
Ugh, sorry, I keep just looking at them. Why wouldn't he just get into the ring? They're so slow.
They're so slow. Body shaming all of our fans in attendance here
Do
today.
you think that's why they hate Chanchos? Because they're fat phobic.
They are definitely body phobic and fat phobic, and it's strange to me coming from two guys that look like wannabe Build-A-Bears, but Steri and Tomo, they just don't seem to give a crap.
They remind me of. Do you remember years ago when they made those Ken dolls, but they had factory defect?
They are the factory defect.
Yeah. And normally I'd say don't be so mean to our competitors, but it's these guys.
You know, it's one of the things that we see eye to eye on. And one of these competitors that I do like is Matty Meyer, but he's also the same type of person.
And now
It's unfortunate.
for their parts. Making their way
It's
to the
unfortunate
ring,
that this is a
weighing
PG,
in at
what is it?
225
PG-15
pounds,
show? Because I would be
from
saying a lot of bad words
the
about all of them.
Loverland, this is Daddy Luscious Matthew
Ugh.
Meyer.
What have they done to him?
I don't know. I definitely can't say Daddy Luscious with a straight face. I'd rather just look at the Mothman.
Have they brainwashed him or something? This is. Sorry, I might be sick right now.
Just to let you all know, that is my colleague Jack Colby being sick today, even though I'm probably sicker than he is. Matthew Meyer making his in-ring debut here in Covenant Pro Wrestling against this sort of eclectic team of Ebac Lord Chancho and someone we're supposed to be believing is not Dower Ranger.
One thing I'm going to say is I didn't puke because of how they look. You can't smell them because you've got a blocked nose. I can. And there's so much perfume on them.
You know, they think it makes them more desirable to the ladies and the gents, but it does not make them desirable to anyone.
One thing that I would say definitely doesn't make them desirable is those, are they tighty whities but painted pink?
I'm not sure what he wears inside the ring. They might be tidy whities painted pink. But right now, the action has gone outside the ring. And honestly, I'm sort of impressed at Ali Tamo having an opportunity to, do some nefarious things there and just able to watch and restrain himself.
Well, we saw last week, was it? No, I can't remember when it was. It was when they last wrestled. That Ali Tamo was close to winning the match for him. And Jacob Sterry sabotaged it because he wanted the glory.
He wanted the glory, he wanted the headline, but right now he's going to get a power bomb.
He's going to get
by Eback.
I was going to make a joke there, but I just don't know what the joke was going to be.
Well, there's nothing to joke about here. You know, the hand biting in Covenant Pro Wrestling is no laughing matter, and Lord Chancho, one of the biggest proponents of that.
Apparently he says that he imagines do you know Burger King chicken fries?
Definitely, he sees those chicken fries, and hopefully tonight he sees a win. Of course, if you're Lord Chancho, that's what you want to see. And Ali Tamo making his way into the ring, and I believe they got a blind tag there.
Yeah. Chancho. What can I say about Chancho that hasn't been said yet, apart from his immense girth?
Only a 2 count. There's not much that can be said about Lord Chancho. I think he's one of those competitors that you just have to watch in the ring. And speaking of watching in the ring, we now have somebody who apparently isn't Dower Ranger, but we're pretty sure is Dower Ranger, hammering away at Ali Tamo, first with a kick, and then a slam of the arm, and some more kicks.
Let's call him Jerry. For simplicity's sake, let's call him Jerry.
Well, I think I have a name in mind. Jerry is a good one, you know, an ode to our former security personnel. But since we don't know who he is, and he looks like Dower Ranger, how about we call him the Dower Stranger?
No.
Oh, I really like that one.
Yeah, but you're not in your right mind. I'm going to use that against you, by the way, James.
Matty Meyer with those big shots there. Those palm strikes heading up to the top rope. High risk, high reward here. And unable to get it.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at that because Dower Ranger didn't even perform a move and he pinned him just to disrespect Tamo. And I absolutely love it. And I want this guy back in the show as soon as possible.
Only a 1 count Eback, the veteran tag team wrestler, able to save the match for his team. At Rolling Death Valley Driver there.
Speaking of the Dower weirdo, do you think that helmet is affecting the striking game of Ali Tamo?
It has to be a pinfall here too. You know, I think that's one of the only reasons he was able to kick out here. Just the protection that helmet provides. But I don't know if it'll provide any from this, the retro elbow.
I'll be honest, I'd normally complain, but it's against Ali Tamo.
2.
Ooh.
And only a 2 count.
Chancho, what are you doing? Why aren't you coming into the ring?
I think he's just dreaming about chicken fries at this point.
I think he might have hit a Whopper Jr. in his shorts. They seem to be rather wide near the bottom. So I think he might have hidden some Burger King there.
I don't know if there's Whoppers in there, or it's just for the breathing room. Lord Chancho going for the pin here. 2. And you have to think that one would have been over if not for that split-second delay between Not Dower and Lord Chancho getting the pin.
I question why Stranger, I'm going to call him Stranger even though it's a stupid name, I question why Stranger didn't pin him.
question that as well. You know, that brief moment, those 2 seconds. 2 seconds is enough to spell the difference between a victory and a defeat.
Yes, 2 seconds is quite a lot. Keep telling yourself that, James. Anyway, Ebak, why do you think Ebak hired this individual?
I think he wanted someone he could trust, and from what I hear, he has 5 stars in the security world. There's no better person to have on your side than this, apparently, if you're listening to Yelp.
5 stars on Craigslist doesn't mean very much.
Well, I heard it was Yelp, but anyway, Ebak working on that arm, Jacob Sterry in a bad way, Lord Chancho got enough of a breather outside and coming back in.
Chancho, very fast opponent despite his size.
He's very deceptively fast. We saw this last week, that big dive. And that is why we have Leonard Seymour employed. He saw what was going to happen, and Ali Tamo thought better of it.
Using his mass there.
Uh-oh, what's this gonna be? Jack, what is this?
The worm?
O, R, and M. 1, 2.
Go on, Ebak. Hurt him. Hurt him. Yes. Yes.
Isn't it just wonderful when Jacob Sterry is in pain?
Yeah.
Speaking of being in pain, not able to get the pinfall in the ring, but Dour Stranger, as I am going to call him, he's got something big planned. But Jacob Sterry,
are we not going to talk about the brawl outside the ring?
You are welcome to talk about the brawl inside the ring, outside the ring, inside the arena, outside the arena. Right now, there is so much going on.
How would I see a fight outside the arena? You really are sick.
I mean, it just means you got to get good.
Don't you dare criticize my commentating skills, James. I would like to complain to HR about this individual next to me.
I'm sure the Dour Stranger's going to be complaining to HR. He hasn't even filed all of his documents yet, and he's just getting stretched on the outside of the ring between those ropes by Matty Meyer, an unorthodox maneuver there.
I feel rather uncomfortable if Matty Meyer was doing that around me.
So, do we know if the Dour Stranger is a full mechanic, or is there a human in there? What are your thoughts on that, Jack?
Honestly, I think it might be Jerry in disguise.
Jerry in disguise, trying to get that little bit of a raise, claiming to work at a security firm.
He should know by now that we're not going to pay him more.
Pinfall here. 2. And Ebak. We always say Ebak has a few extra lives, and it always rings true.
Will he be installing the NVIDIA driver tonight?
I think that is his game plan here.
It could be now.
Big single leg drop kick. Moonsault.
Ooh. 1. Just a 1?
Only a 1. Matty Meyer. I guess he's prepared for this.
I'd like to say that Dour Ranger's been on... Wait, is Dour Ranger looking underneath... No, he wasn't, was he? He was looking underneath the ring for a moment there.
Maybe he lost his pocket watch, I'm not sure. But right now, Matty Meyer is in a bad state.
Oh,
and a counter.
That
a
is
counter
not
from
good.
The NVIDIA driver.
That is not good for Ebak.
Big back body drop and now sent into the corner. Jacob Sterry gets the tag. Oh my God, what is this?
Yes.
That Gamagiri powerbomb combination in the corner. Ebak able to deflect that just a little bit.
I think I just hope, yes. I really enjoy seeing Sterry in action. Not because he's able to wrestle, but because he's able to be hurt.
Absolutely. I just like seeing that big, ginormous head just ricocheting against the mat. It's fantastic. It's like coffee in the morning.
Do you think Tamo uses Sterry's forehead as a mirror?
I think any shiny surface which Jacob Sterry's forehead would apply to is something he uses as a mirror.
Maybe that's why he picked him as a tag team partner.
Speaking of shiny, the Dour Stranger here with a pinfall. I thought he was going there for some shining glory and a victory. I really do love his metallic shiny outfit.
I'll be honest, it hurts my poor little eyes.
Well, you know, my poor little voice hurts your poor little ears, and if your poor little eyes are hurting too, everyone at this announce table is in a bad state. So is Matty Meyer maybe ejected from this matchup? No, dropped on that top rope.
You know what would fix this announcing table? More animal crackers.
More animal crackers, indeed.
Come on, just give me more giraffe animal crackers. I'll be really happy.
Big springboard lariat to the back of the neck.
Speaking of crackers, Ebak is going absolutely nuts and cracking some of those joints of Tamo.
But Tamo going for something big here. Ebak. German suplex.
Stop coughing, it's not very nice. Anyway.
I'm going to edit some of these out in post, but the NVIDIA driver is something you can't uninstall. 2.
Do you think Sterry regrets working with Tamo? Not because he's a bad teammate. Not at all because of that, but because it takes eyes off him.
You know, anytime that Sterry is in the ring, he does want the eyes on him. And I think that's why he despises his, his competitors so much, his opponents, because they also take eyes off of him. I think one day we'll see that Jacob Sterry and Ollie Tamo, they're going to get into a fisticuffs, if you will, and the dynamic is going to change. But for right now, the dynamic is that Jerry, you got me calling him Jerry now.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Anyway, the dynamic is
Jacob Jerry here.
Exactly. Right now, this team...
We are not editing that from post.
No, we are not. This team is a well-oiled machine for now. And right now, Dour Stranger
I'd like to agree vehemently with the well-oiled part of that statement.
You saw what I got there. A drop kick. Just reach your hand out, Stranger.
Ooh.
I guess he didn't need to.
Stranger. I don't know where I'm going with this, but Stranger.
Well, we sure have seen stranger things, and Stranger has got Ollie Tamo in a little bit of stranger danger, if you will. Hoisting him up to the top rope. What's this going to be, a Hurricane Rana? No.
I'm going to call it the Stranger Danger.
2.
Go on, Ebak. Go on.
Tell him what you think of him, Ebak.
Go on. Talk like you're in MW2 lobby.
I think that's the wrong game.
Oh, you haven't heard me in an MW2 lobby here, James.
Well, you're not going to be hearing much. I was going to say you're not going to be hearing much out of the Dour Stranger if he doesn't kick out of this. Two. This matchup has been just so fast-paced. I can't even keep track of it.
It's been a very long match. Well,
you have to think that these competitors are extremely tired.
I mean,
at least 5 of them are.
Are you implying that Chancho hasn't done much?
Well, I was implying that the Dour Stranger may in fact be a cyborg, but I guess maybe 4 of them are tired.
I'd like to say though, do you think there's a cooling system within that helmet?
There may be, but I don't think it's gonna help that reverse Hurricane Rana, that rewind Rana there.
Rana?
Yeah, apparently in Spanish, Rana means frog. Did you know that?
Oh, I can call you a Rana.
No.
Oh. Now I'm sad. Anyway, speaking of things that make me sad, Ebac's being pinned.
Ebac is being pinned.
Rare show of good teamwork there from Ali.
Well, I think Ali Tamo is the one with the teamwork. Jacob Sterry is only a teammate if it suits him. And speaking of that, going right for a pin.
Ooh.
Lord Chancho came up a little short, but Ebac.
Do we know the story behind this? Like, why they're going after Chancho? Is it still a big mystery?
You know, I've heard that they just don't like the guy.
They don't like your throat either.
I don't like that either. I think it really does have to do with just them being really shallow and despicable human beings, and seeing someone like, you know, Lord Chancho, who is defying the odds and being quick and, you know, technically savvy in a wrestling ring, and it just doesn't compute for them.
I think it's because they never leave the gym.
Never leave the gym, never leave that mirrored private locker room, as Ebac told us earlier.
Have you heard the stories from the janitors, or do I have to tell you?
I think he might have to tell a little bit of a story.
Yeah, so what I've heard from some of the janitors in the locker room is that Sterry had a hissy fit because they weren't waxing his lockers enough that he could see his reflection perfectly.
That definitely sounds like Jacob Sterry's MO. Complain about everything, but that delayed neck breaker almost defying gravity, Lord Chancho.
So now the janitors are threatening to quit if we don't reprimand Sterry.
Well, I hope tonight they will accept a loss in our favor, in terms of, you know, getting even with Jacob Sterry, because I have a feeling that they're not going to be able to keep Lord Chancho down. And somebody on the outside of the ring, looks like Ebac, got busted open.
Ooh, the smell of blood mixing with the smell of perfume. Never a nice smell.
Oh no. He's got 2 tickets, and you're invited. Tickets to your clown fall.
Ooh. 1,
2.
What? No.
Well, it sure as hell wasn't 2 tickets to paradise, I'll tell you that much.
Well, why is Matty Meyer in such a hurry?
Matty Meyer.
Yeah.
He is in a hurry to do something, it looks like, to get that tag.
Oh, I thought he hit Stereo. I might have been fantasizing there.
Head scissors.
Heads, shoulders, knees and toes. His head's gone.
Well, absolutely every one of those things hurt right now on presumably all of these competitors, and that's gotta hurt.
I think the Dower Ranger, he seems to be doing a lot of damage, but it's just not affecting his opponent.
Well, Matty Meyer is downed by that that very low Hurricane Rana, almost like a DDT maneuver with the legs because it was so low, dropping Matty Meyer on the top of his head. But somehow...
The beefiest of burgers is in the ring now, Lord Chancho.
Definitely. And hopefully he's, you know, trying to guide himself to flame-grilled victory. The whopper of a win, so to speak, as he got last week. A pinfall here.
We see Seymour sprinting there to count that. Even he doesn't like the Tamu free.
No, definitely Leonard Seymour is going to be requesting a surplus of animal crackers here tonight because he has done way too much cardio. And Matty Meyer with that spinning neck breaker maneuver again and a pinfall.
Did you say he gets paid in animal crackers?
I think we all do.
No, where's his locker?
2. Oh, only a 1 count.
You ignored my question.
I'm in my Google Maps as we speak, trying to find it. May need to pull up Google Maps to find our resident ambulance after this.
Do they have animal crackers?
They've got something better.
What?
Adrenaline shots.
They're not better.
Speak for yourself.
Just because you're slightly addicted to adrenaline doesn't
Wait
mean
a
I
minute.
am.
Both of his teammates are outside the ring. Tickets to your clown fall. The perfect solution for this problem of Lord Chancho for Jacob Sterry.
And here are your winners.
Oh,
By way of
no.
pinfall,
Wait, Matty Meyer's
the
Candy
team
Island.
of Jacob Sterry.
Apparently that's what they call
Tamo,
themselves.
And Matty Meyer.
Oh,
Matty
for
Myers,
God's sake. Something we're
Candy
gonna...
Island.
Am I going to get told off by management again?
You know, I have to admit, I'll get to your point in a second, that the security of the Dour Stranger was top tier, but he just was not quick enough in a long contest like this. But you could tell how adamantly he wanted to do his job.
Yeah, he must have been paid a lot more than just animal crackers.
Yeah, he's getting paid by the megabyte, I'm sure.
Do you think he was being paid? Do you think he'll still get paid even though he failed?
Oh, wait, what the? How'd he get out here so quick? We hear Dragon Kid's music. But I guess Johnny D's not satisfied until he comes out here. He's taking matters into his own hands to go and find his nemesis, so to speak. Johnny D meandering through the entire arena.
Is Dragon Kid even in the arena?
I don't know. It seems like Johnny D has some plan. You hear him saying he's going to get a better vantage point to find Dragon Kid.
I don't think... Yeah, didn't Dragon Kid call in sick? At least that's the rumor I've heard.
That's what I've heard as well. But people who didn't call in sick right now are these two competitors, Belle Florent, Labette de Bordeaux, and Bayou Fire Maria Black.
These two are, gunning for each other in this tournament here to become the first ever Covenant Pro Wrestling Women's World Champion.
Yeah, how do you think William Black's result earlier today will affect Maria Black?
I think Maria Black probably feels like there's some momentum on her side.
The following matchup is scheduled for one fall with a time limit of 20 minutes. Making their way to the ring first, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, this is Bayou Fire, the Crazed Cajun, Maria Black.
Something I'd like to say about Maria Black is the first time I ever saw her, I thought she was a horror because of her distinctive red hair, but it turns out they have no relation.
No relation at all. I think this is the case where the hair is dyed.
So it's not a natural hair color, you don't think, James?
No, I've seen her before and she looked very different when we saw her in the CWL.
So what do you think her natural hair is then?
I don't quite remember, but living in the present here, we have to worry about this matchup. And do you think that Maria Black is worried about this matchup?
And
honestly,
now for their opponent.
if I'm being brutally honest, I think Maria Black should be worried about this matchup, but I don't think she is.
This is La Bête de Bordeaux, Belle Florence.
I apologize for talking over the announcer there.
That was my fault, asking the loaded questions while our announcer is about to speak, but it is true. I think you're right on the money there, Jack, that Maria Black should be worried about Belle Florent.
Because Belle Florent, as far as I'm aware, I do have a bad memory, she hasn't lost yet.
She hasn't lost. She is one of our top-ranked women's top-ranked women in the women's division. Of course, we do our rankings by the number of matches and win percentage. So she's not quite top-ranked, but she is up there.
We also use a little bit of hope. I believe I read at the bottom of the graphic.
A little bit of hope for match quality definitely is something that we factor into when we do our booking. And that's what we're talking about right there, the hopes for match quality, that big splash off the top rope, and we see a big and brutal knee.
Is this our main event tonight, or am I getting that wrong?
So this is our second to last match. We do have one more match left in the show. I guess for our case and my voice, let's hope they put this one away quickly. I muted us for a second. There is only like 18 minutes left. All right, I'm gonna unmute us.
I'm curious about within the women's division, whether or not, now this may sound weird, whether or not there's been complaints about certain attacks, especially considering one of our competitors is using hand wraps today.
I imagine there have been some complaints. Whenever you get a competitor that is going to focus on just one part of the body, in a dangerous manner, you're not going to take that kindly.
I mean, yeah, but certain competitors have been doing that for years and never been complained about. So,
I mean, at least not to their face. And those big punches by Belle Florent to the midsection of Maria Black. Talk about knocking the wind out of your opponent.
Is Belle Florent French?
Yeah, she is the Beast of Bordeaux, France. Belle Florent is definitely a French woman. A 2 count there.
I know some people would complain about being in the same ring as a French woman, but it seems that despite her nationality and various other things, she's holding her own. And a lot of people seem to complain about the French, and I don't understand why. Could you enlighten me, James?
I don't understand why at all. They have fine cuisine and even finer professional athletes, but right now one of them needs to get on the up and up here, and she does. Wait a minute, that's that butcher snare. We've seen this before, that submission hold.
Ooh. I've never understood in this position why the victim, let's call him the victim, doesn't raise their shoulders.
Are you sure you're not a professional athlete?
Listen, I've got too much of a gut to be a professional athlete.
It makes total sense. And speaking of guts, you've got to have a lot of guts to get in the ring with Belle Florent, and especially to hold on this long for Maria Black getting up right now.
Yeah, you've got to remember, Maria Black is married to William Black, and she has to boss him around. She's the one who wears the pants in that relationship, so she's used to fighting stronger opponents.
Huge kick there, and I believe in, not to correct you, Jack, I believe that's a onesie, not pants right now.
Swear to God, and normally I'd punch you, but you're sick.
Wait a minute, we've seen this before. That flaming knee lock. Belle Florent, of course, she is a submission specialist, a submission and a striker in her own right, able to withstand.
Belle Florent she's struggling an uphill battle here, mainly due to height.
Definitely, Maria Black is the taller competitor and the, I would say, stronger competitor. You look at her build. Oh my God. Belle Florent, that target marked.
If you notice, Belle Florent has had to change some of her stance when it comes to striking. Normally, when you're striking, you want to strike straight forward. But if Belle Florent does that during this match, she's going to hit the throat, which is illegal. And very, very dangerous. So she's having to strike upwards, which is quite difficult.
Having to strike upwards, having to strike, you know, sort of around to make sure that she doesn't hit any illegal areas. But right now she hits that knee, and a butcher snare yet again. If she doesn't tap, the pile driver at the end of this is not going to be good for Maria Black.
Is she raising her elbows?
I think she listened to you just a little bit, but will it be enough? Pinfall. One, two,
And here is your
three.
winner, by way of pinfall.
Who won? They're both on the floor.
De Bordeaux, Belle Florent.
Belle Florent getting a victory, advancing in the tournament to become, or hopefully become, the first Covenant Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. A hard-fought battle here, but she just
well-earned victory.
A well-earned victory, absolutely.
A quick note I'd like to make. I think
What's the note?
I think Will Sheridan may have stolen the tournament idea from Dragon Ball Z. Especially with him using the term Tournament of Champions.
Okay, so it can't be saying things like that on the air because it's bad PR, but you might be right, okay? But now we look at the women's bracket. The updated bracket, we'll be seeing Lauren Osborne taking on Belle Florent and Callie Kaplan taking on the newcomer and potentially more seasoned Emma Barkley next week.
Callie Kaplan scares me.
Speaking of, you know, being scared, I would be scared to be in the ring with the Truthless Hero Connor Gates or the Sauce Chris Edwards. Both of these competitors are the top tier of Covenant Pro Wrestling, and you know that neither one of them want to back down.
I'd like to note, looking at them right now, they have the same hairstyle and the same facial hair.
And the same
same.
The following matchup
Yeah.
is scheduled for one fall.
You're right.
With a time
Why aren't they
limit
friends?
of 20 minutes, making their way to the ring first. Weighing in at 210 pounds from the West Midlands of England, this is the Truthless Hero, Connor Gay.
You know, I don't think either of these competitors has room for friendship. They're clearing their mental off to make room for a Covenant Pro Wrestling Men's Championship as we speak. And you've got to think that both of these, being, you know, such veterans of the ring and so seasoned, that they think they have it in the bag.
Do you think that experience can be a negative thing sometimes? Because it can create an ego and a sense of superiority over
Making
other
their way to the
competitors.
ring, weighing in at 223 pounds, he is the Sauce, Chris Edwards.
I definitely think it can create an ego, and if you think of ego, if you look it up in the dictionary, you'll get a picture of that mug right there. Chris Edwards, probably the most egotistical person here, aside from Jacob Sterry. But right now, I want to point something out, Jack. These two competitors are 3-0. If one of them wins here tonight, which of course one of them will, they will be 3-0 and taking that spot that Damon Ryder had. Oh, they're actually 2-0. I'm sorry, 2-0.
Goddamn sickness.
I know. I'll probably edit that one in post.
Don't you dare. The striking from the short one. I forget his name now. I'm bad with names.
Chris Edwards, the saucy boy.
Yeah, the Heinz ketchup.
Definitely coming into this matchup with a bunch of flavor, so to speak.
Did you know that's not actually true? It was just the year it was released.
What, 57? Oh, I was thinking about your mom's birthday. Never mind. Anyway. A big neck breaker in the ring.
I was going to say something, but I thought it'd be rather inappropriate for the show.
I think I know what you were going to say, but right now, what more can you say other than this matchup right from the outset has been incredible?
Just like your mother. Anyway.
Big delayed fisherman suplex, a pinfall, and not even a one Leonard Seymour right there in the action. But just not quite enough to end this one.
I'd like to note towards the fans today that despite the amount me and James may rib each other and make fun of each other, we do have a level of respect within this commentary table.
Yeah, the level of respect is just a little bit lower than you would normally see, but it's there somewhere.
I was trying to be serious for once here, James.
So was I.
I swear to God, if they weren't paying me not to kill you.
And now the true colors are being shown here at the announce desk. And god damn, Connor Gates has got to be seeing color now. Or seeing more colors.
I think he sees colors normally. I don't think he's seeing stuff in like a 1950s TV screen.
Listen, I corrected myself. Went for that big wheel kick. Chris Edwards couldn't correct himself.
Doesn't mean I'm not going to make fun of you, James.
Make fun of me all you want, but what you can't make fun of are these two competitors that know what is at stake. A pinfall here.
Ooh,
Leonard
great
Seymour, of course, seeing all of the action. I think Chris Edwards went for a big knee, but Connor Gates able to put those elbows up, put those forearms up to kind of end the inertia, if you will, in that momentum.
Big size difference between our two superstars here.
Wait a minute, we've got this Cobra Clutch crossface type maneuver.
Cobra Commander?
If that is what you would prefer to call it, I understand the reference, but right now, we need to refer Chris Edwards to a plastic surgeon after those elbows.
You think Malachi will take him?
I think that's a different part of the field.
Anyway, I think I felt that from here.
Definitely an earth-shattering clothesline, a pinfall here.
I'd like to say something about the crowd here today, James. They've been clapping quite a bit more than usual, and it's affecting our audio quality.
Yeah, definitely. We are peaking here in the arena in terms of our sound levels, and we just can't crank the audio down enough, and especially not after a burning hammer like that.
Being hammered into the ring.
But yeah, as we were speaking, the audio is a little hot tonight, but we're still on the air. Everything is fine, except for how I feel.
Yeah, I'm still blaming you for the audio.
That's fine. And you can blame Chris Edwards for that brutal knee, but Connor Gates has a receipt, and Chris Edwards just mimicking him there.
Who was it? Who was it again? Who claimed there were brass knees in the competition?
Mac Daddy Furnace is claiming that there is brass knees, but there is the call to the void. And could that be it? No, it is not. Calling to the void. He needs to yell a little louder if he wants to win this one.
There's a lot of hand stomps here again, but that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is there's a lot of aggression in this match, more than I'd expect. Are we sure these guys don't have anything personal against each other?
I don't believe there is anything personal, but right now it's hard not to take that personally. The second time he's been in that maneuver this matchup, arms are flailing. He's right there at the rope. All he has to do is reach out. Leonard Seymour will see it.
I think it's an etiquette thing, to be honest, considering that the official rules that we put on our website anyway, for the competitors, is that there's no rope breaks apart from if you can grab it with your hand. Some of the competitors like to honour that, despite the fact that Seymour is not using that rule.
Wow, Chris Edwards just missed with that big springboard maneuver and able to kind of
play it off.
Yeah, he kind of pulled it off and it made it look like it wasn't as bad. But a call to the void, this time a little louder, and a pinfall.
Will he get an answer?
2.
Oh.
That was a 3.
That was a 3. Should we fire Seymour?
We can't find anybody else that works for Animal Crackers.
But we can hire his son, Lenny.
But here we go. The illegal maneuver here. The Peter English move, we should say, being employed here by Chris Edwards, showing how desperate he is.
Huge knee. That was a 3, wasn't it?
That had to be a 3.
I think Seymour's going senile.
Seymour may be going senile, and my voice definitely is running out. But right now, another illegal Peter English move being employed here, trying to break the fingers of Connor Gates.
I'd like to put a request out for my compatriot here to be replaced next week due to his lack of professionalism.
Lack of professionalism?
Yes.
I'll have you know the extra Animal Crackers you got this week were because I let them give you my salary.
I retract my statement.
2. Only a 2 count? How much further can these 2 men go?
Yes, I'd like to retract my statement.
Consider your statement retracted. Connor Gates.
His face is retracted. Oh,
calling to the void yet again. And that one just echoed through the arena. And that
by way of
is it.
Is he alive?
The truthless hero, Connor.
I don't think he's alive.
Gage.
Edwards isn't moving.
Edwards may be deadwards at this point.
Chris, you alright? Chris? No, he's not responding.
Christopher, I'm going to the doctor after this. Do you want a carpool?
We need to pull you there.
Somebody call the ambulance.
He's gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was your main event. Next week, we will see the foundation of Covenant Pro Wrestling shift just a little bit more until at Phoenix Rising, we crown our first champion.
Or Phoenix King.
I like that. Now we see the updated bracket. Of course, Connor Gates taking on... Wait a minute, what the hell is this?
Why is he holding a... Is that a bat?
Wait, that's Morgan Sharp and that's Mac Daddy Furnace.
It's gonna take a lot more than brass knees to fix that.
He's gonna need brass dentures after that. Wow. And going for the bat again.
He's already dead.
Hammering away. Oh my God.
Come on, he's already dead.
Stop it, Morgan. Stop it, Morgan. Stop. Just stop, Morgan.
He's already dead.
I don't know if that's all Morgan Sharp has for Mac Daddy Furnace, but that's all we have for you tonight. Like, share, subscribe for more Covenant Pro Wrestling Uproar, because we'll be back next week. Hopefully. Seriously, guys, subscribe, because if you don't, we're working for crackers here. Jeez.
Yeah, come on. Keep that in.